Greetings, chess fans. Today I'll be showing you a game that astonished the chess world 2 years ago during the pandemic. This game was part of Magnus Carlsen's Banter Blitz session, in which he encountered the Brazilian Grandmaster Luis Paulo Supi. And simply put, this game was a shocker. So without further ado, let's dive in. So Supi is white and he opens with e4, and Carlsen responds with d5. We have the Scandinavian defense. We have e takes d5 and queen takes d5. We have knight f3, developing the knight, and bishop g4, pinging the knight and also threatening to destroy white's kingside structure. So after bishop g4, we have bishop e2, developing the bishop and protecting the knight. We have knight c6, developing the knight, and knight c3, also developing the knight and attacking the queen. The queen has to move away, so we have queen d7 and h3, kicking the bishop out of g4. We have bishop f3 and bishop f3. Magnus decides to go long castles, so we have long castles, and Grandmaster Supi goes short. So, and whenever have opposite castle situations, you know the games will be very interesting. So we have knight d4. Carlsen centralizes his knight and also puts some pressure on this f3 bishop. And Supi immediately plays the move a4, expanding on the queen side and also maybe preparing a little queen side storm with maybe b4, b5, a5, so on. So a4 is just the beginning. And we have king b8, which is very instructive, especially if you're a beginner. Whenever you castle long, whether it be if you're white or black, in general, it's a very good idea to put the king on the b file. So if you were white, you would put it on b1. If you're black, you put it on b8. The reason is you want to get out of uh, tactics along this diagonal, and also you want all your pawns to be protected. If the king is on c8, this a7 pawn is unprotected, so it might be a problem later. That's why we have king b8. And in this position, Carlsen said that he thought he was doing all right, which is true. According to the engine, this position is equal. But now we have the first move which will change this. We have knight b5, offering a pawn sacrifice, which Carlsen declines. He plays knight f3. But let's see what would have happened if he actually took the knight on b5. If he takes on b5, we would have a takes b5 and queen b5. And one of the reasons why Carlsen didn't go into this is, well, it's just intuition and years of playing experience. We have to realize that in this position, White will have tremendous initiative, and his play will be so simple. He will play d3, for example. Let's see a variation d3, something like e5, trying to develop. We will have c4, kick the queen away. The queen has to move, so let's say we have queen c6. And now we would develop our bishop with tempo. We would bishop e3. Uh, Black would be obliged to block. And after bishop c5, we'll have something bishop c5, queen c5, b4. The pawn cannot be touched because of rook b1. So we have something queen d4. And now we would have queen a4, uh, and putting some enormous pressure on the queen side and also preparing a pawn storm. So that's why Carlsen didn't go into this. It was simple intuition. That's why he plays knight f3, eliminating the strong bishop, and we have queen f. We have a6 by Carlsen, trying to kick the knight away from b5, but Supi ignores this and he plays c4, intentionally leaving knight on pre, with the idea of opening the a file. But this is actually a mistake. Carlsen in this position played e5, which is a mistake. He should have played a takes b5. And after a takes b5, which looks very strong and mighty because you're threatening queen a3 with unstoppable checkmate on a8. The reason why this is bad is because it can be refuted by the move queen d3. And this move shuts everything down. It First of all, it stops this queen from going to the queen side, but it also blocks the d4 pawn, which enables the white bishop from developing. And if this bishop can develop, then this rook can get to the queen side. So it really disrupts white's attack, and white here would simply down a piece. But Carlsen doesn't play this for some reason. He plays e5. And now we have d4 by Supi. The idea of this move is to stop queen to d3. Now, and so now this isn't an option. You can't take the knight. We have e takes d4 by Carlsen, and now Supi again doesn't care about this knight. He simply continues to develop. He plays bishop f4, threatening the c7 pawn. And in this position, Carlsen felt obliged to take the knight. So he goes for it. We have a b5 and a b5, opening the a file. And in this position, white is already winning because his plan is very simple. He's going to double up on the a file and threaten mate on a8. And there's not really that much that black can do about it. So after a takes b5, Carlsen tries to exchange some pieces by playing bishop d6. But after bishop d6, we have rook a2, preparing to double the rooks. We have queen f5, attacking this bishop and hoping for a queen trade. But this doesn't happen. We have rook fa1, threatening checkmate on a8, so you have to do something about it. The only move that stops it is king c8. But in this position, Supi finds a marvelous move. He plays queen c6, sacrificing his queen and completely smothering black's queen side. And he doesn't allow the king to escape to d7. So what's the point of this move? In this position, Carlsen resigned. But why did he resign? Well, the idea is very simple. But if when the queen gets here, it protects the d7 square, so rook a8 again is a checkmate threat. And if you take this queen, if you play the obvious move, we have bc6, and again, this pawn cannot be taken, but it also defends the d7 square, and there's simply no way for this king to escape checkmate. Rook a8 is inevitable. And the only thing you can do is give away your pieces to prolong the agate. So we would have something like queen b1, rook b1, bishop a3, and after king b8 we would simply double again, and mate is unstoppable. So yeah, this one was a beauty, and the best part of this game, in my opinion, was that Carlsen wasn't mad about it. He was really impressed by this genius queen sacrifice, queen c6, and he applauded his opponent. So yeah, this was a beautiful game. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.